Hey guys, Angus here with another Airsoft video for you guys today. Today we've got the video review of the Cybergun licensed FNX-45 gas blowback airsoft pistol. Now you guys saw it shooting right there at the beginning of the video, and if you're interested in purchasing it after you watch this full review, there'll be a link down below in the description to airsoftStation.com where you can purchase it for about $190. Now with that being said, this is a pretty cool little pistol, so let's go ahead and hop straight into the video review. Starting this review off by discussing the gun's packaging, as you can see, the FNX-45 will arrive in a typical, very flashy Cybergun style box. When you open up the box, you will see the gun is packaged pretty well, with the exception that when you get the pistol, it will be wrapped in plastic, protecting a little bit further. Inside the box, you'll have a very basic and simple manual, a replacement piece for the back of the pistol grip on this gun. This one is a lot thinner, whereas you will note as you see the gun further in the review that the piece that it comes attached to the gun is much thicker. And then of course you have your FNX-45 itself, as well as its 25 round magazine. Now when you take this gun out of the box, in my opinion it feels very solid, and a lot of that's due to the external construction on this gun. Overall, it's a light weapon. It only weighs about 2 pounds. However, don't get me wrong, when you raise it up, it certainly feels solid and sturdy in your hands. Pretty much everything from the top half is constructed of metal, and everything on the lower half is constructed of a higher quality polymer. So your slide is constructed of metal, your iron sights, your hammer, your slide release, your slide lock, all that's constructed of metal, as well as most of the magazine and the magazine release. The bottom half of the gun, the frame itself, is constructed of a higher quality polymer. It's very comfortable, especially with that textured grip on there, and also to note, again, the removable back if you wanted to place that thinner one as opposed to the thicker one on there. As far as external construction goes, the cheapest piece might be the bottom of the magazine, which feels a little fragile and is a little bulbous. If you were to drop it, I could definitely imagine it shattering on a hard surface. But otherwise, the gun itself is built very, very solidly, and it feels comfortable. As I mentioned, lightweight, yet durable and solid in your hands. Something that kind of makes this gun a little bit more attractive would be the FN trademarks located on it, and we'll zoom in on those for you now. Zooming in on the trades located on the left side of the weapon slide, you'll see what I'm talking about. These are all engraved, so it's not like they're simply painted on and going to fade. And overall, they look very, very nice. We have FNX-45 Tactical, the FN logo, 45 ACP. Again, all engraved, there to stay, look pretty good. The gun does also have engraved trades located on its right side, albeit these are much smaller and simpler. We just have stainless steel, FN Herstal USA, and Made in USA on this side. Again, engraved, nowhere to go, but certainly not as fancy and nice as the ones on the left side. The textured grip also features a nice FN logo on both sides. So externals look and feel great for the most part. As far as internals go, by no means a gas blowback internal expert. However, I can tell you that this thing is pretty gas efficient. In 75-degree temperatures, I was able to get about quite a few mags out of a single gas fill, at least 4. Now, as you saw at the beginning of this video, the FNX-45 is indeed a gas blowback airsoft pistol, meaning that when you pull the trigger, the slide will blow back like so. This is a realistic function, and if you've ever handled one, it does feel pretty cool. Now, obviously, when you fired your last BB, the slide will lock back like so. Again, a realistic function, and hey, it lets you know you're out of ammo. In order to release your slide, you want to push down on the slide release located here on the left side of the gun, and when you go ahead and do that, the slide will clack forward like so. However, since you are still out of BBs, pull the trigger again, slide lock will activate again. Again, a realistic feature, and hey, it's pretty cool. I always like the way the guns look when their slides are locked back. In my book, when it comes to anything gas blowback, there's no more important feature than the gun's magazine. In order to release the FNX-45's mag, you want to push in on the mag release, located ambidextrously on both sides of the pistol. When you push the mag release, the mag will drop out, so be prepared to catch it. The gun's magazine is, in my opinion, very ugly with that chrome look and that big, heavy bottom. I just don't like it too much. However, as far as its capacity goes, it does hold about 25 rounds, which is pretty good for a pistol, and it's a pretty simple mechanism to work. I don't much care for these because there's nothing to lock the spring down. You simply have to hold this piece down manually, and if you don't have too long of nails, it does kind of hurt quite a bit. But when you slowly release it, this is a double stack magazine, allowing you to fit 25 rounds comes in here. Something I generally dislike about the mag is the fact that it does have a plastic lip. This is much easier to break than, say, a metal lip on there, so be careful with this magazine. Don't be dropping it or knocking it around, because once this chips, the magazine is kind of useless and you'll need to replace this piece. As far as the mag fill goes, it's not located on the bottom like you'd expect. It's actually on the back of the magazine, located right under the gas release. As I mentioned earlier, this mag is pretty gas efficient. I was able to get 4 or 5 mags out of one single gas fill, so that's pretty good considering you figure you're firing about 125 to 130 rounds from the gun. As far as the gun's iron sights go, they're pretty simple and basic pistol sights. It's not like you're going to be placing a scope on this gun, so they are kind of what you're stuck with. They're very nicely marked, however, with kind of bright white dots marking each point on the sights. You do have your standard, what I'd call a pyramid sight in the back, 2 blocks with a slit through it to line up with the front sight post up front. Overall, these are pretty accurate to the gun, and as I mentioned, not adjustable or anything, so they are kind of what you're stuck with unless you're planning on rigging up some kind of scope for your pistol. Now, the FNX-45 does have an adjustable hop-up unit. However, you do have to remove the slide in order to access it. This is a pretty simple process, and it's detailed in the gun's manual, but we might as well show you right here. First things first, you do have to make sure that your weapon's magazine is removed. At that point, you're ready to go. In order to remove the slide, first, cock it back as if you're going to shoot the gun. At this point, you want to push this lever downward into this position like so. You'll now notice it's facing towards the ground. At this point, you can go ahead and remove the slide like so. When you remove the slide, your hop-up unit right here. As you can see, that small little gear is what you would turn in order to adjust your hop-up. Overall, this hop-up was decently effective. However, I did notice some big issues with it, including the fact that when it's turned off, your gun has almost absolutely no range, and also the fact that BBs were actually rolling out of the pistol's barrel on me. A little bit more on that in the final conclusion in a few minutes here. Reversing the slide removal process is pretty easy. Simply line your slide back up with the frame of the pistol, slide it onward like so, and at that point, flip this lever back into the upright position. At that point, your slide is on and you're ready to go. When it comes to the FNX-45 safety, it is ambidextrous, being located not only on the left side as shown here, but also on the right side of the gun, as you can see here. This is a very nice safety. It's easily accessible by your thumb, say if you need to snap it right on safe right away. When it's facing downward like so and that red dot is exposed, the gun is capable of firing. However, if you were to flip into that upward position, concealing the red dot, this gun is now on safety. You can pull the trigger, however, the pistol will not fire. When it comes to tactical customization of the FNX-45, this gun does have a few features allowing you to customize it. Most prominent would be that tactical rail located underneath of the gun's frame. This way you can add some form of flashlight or laser or anything you want to put on that 20mm rail there. Also, this gun is supposed to have a threaded outer barrel. However, since this is a gun merely sent to me for review, I'm not keeping it. I can't remove that orange tip to find out if this is true. However, I do believe there are threads underneath of that. So you can customize this gun a little bit if you desired to. Alright, and with that last little comment there about customization of the pistol, we can go ahead and hop into the final conclusion of this review. Now, first things first, you guys have been subscribed to my channel for quite some time, know me. I'm not necessarily a reviewer who sits down and examines every little screw or bit of paint on a gun. I'm much more focused on, could I use this in a game? Is this something that could actually be usable in an airsoft skirmish? And in my opinion, yes, this FNX-45 is fully capable of that. It's a pretty nice little pistol. As I mentioned, it's got quite a few features that I truly enjoy. As I told you earlier, this gun is very gas efficient. We've got a magazine that holds quite a bit of gas, makes use of it, and also holds 25 rounds, so we definitely do pack quite a bit of ammo in the gun. As far as external comfort goes, this thing is great. It feels lightweight in a holster, but when I pull it up, it feels very solid and sturdy in my hands. The metal slide with all those engraved trays looks very nice. Blowback action, always great, feels pretty darn strong. And as far as customization goes, I'm always a sucker for anything that I can make a little bit unique, whether this gun has a threaded barrel or not, and also with that 20mm rail underneath. So overall, this weapon was pretty good for the most part. The one issue I had would have to be with the weapon's hop-up unit. We saw it's pretty easy to access. Again, talking about game capabilities, you could certainly do that in the field if you definitely needed to. However, the hop-up unit, as I mentioned before, if you guys watch the performance test, is decent. When you adjust it properly, you can get a little bit of extra range on your shot, but as far as its effectiveness goes, when turned off, this gun has absolutely no range. You're talking maybe 45, 50 feet, but that's expected. We want to adjust our hop-up. However, I did note that a couple times after adjusting the hop-up, I would fire the gun, BB would come out and the next BB would roll out. That happened a couple times there, so that is certainly something to watch, and that was my biggest issue with this gun, is that perhaps the hop-up unit wasn't 100% on the FNX-45. But other than that, this weapon has solid performance if you watched our performance test video, and the features all lined up to make it a pretty darn nice gun. Would I personally recommend it? Yes, I would. It'd make an excellent sidearm if you want something with FN trades, a solid feel, and pretty gas efficient as well, even in cooler weather. The one issue you might have to watch out for is a finicky hop-up unit. Other than that, it's definitely game usable, and I would recommend it to somebody looking for a solid sidearm. With that being said, guys, this has been Deathcore Airsoft's review of the Cybergun licensed FNX-45 gas blowback airsoft pistol. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe.